Okay.
I think I have to drink about a case of these just to feel a buzz. It's like 0.5% alcohol.
I'm backstage at Toes with Ace Frehley. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm in a good mood. Ready to rock.
Okay, how did you get started in music yourself?
Well, I came from a musical family, you know. My mom and dad both played piano. My brother and sister, who were both older than me, played piano and guitar. So I was always surrounded by music, and and then with the influx of the English invasion, I decided to just pick up a guitar one day and start fooling around with it, and next thing you know, here I am.
Okay. Have you been working on any new material?
Have I been working on any new material? Not recently. I just finished an album. Right now I'm more concentrating on promoting the new album. I haven't written anything since I've recorded Trouble Walking now.
Where are you going after the U.S. tour?
After the U.S. tour, probably Europe, Japan, Australia. And, maybe the moon.
What are some of your influences?
My major influences are people like, when I was in high school, guys like Jimi Hendrix, Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, Pete Townsend from The Who, Led Zeppelin.
How does it feel to have so many people list you as their influences?
I'm real flattered. At the time, in the late 70s when Kiss was on top of the world, I never realized how many people I was influencing at the time. I was kind of just going with the flow and on automatic pilot. Now, I read reviews and interviews with guitar players now who are in their 20s who, 10 years ago were in high school, copying my guitar solos off Kiss records, and it's real flattering to realize I've influenced a generation of guitar players.
Do you find a lot of quiet time on the road and stuff?
Quiet time? I try to make at least keep a couple hours, put a couple hours aside, Zenith Data Systems is sponsoring this tour, so I have computer equipment on the road with me. And I do computer graphics from time to time, that kind of relaxes me. It kind of takes me away from the whole music scene. I fire up my computer and I start playing with paint programs and desktop publishing programs.
How come you chose a club tour as opposed to like a Coliseum type tour?
Because I couldn't sell out a Coliseum tour, to be totally honest with you. I haven't had a top 10 hit yet. I think once I have a platinum album, things could change.
How do you feel about the kids dressing up as like the old Ace from like Kiss on Halloween and stuff? Have you ever seen anybody?
No, that was the young Ace. This is the old Ace sitting in front of you. No, I know what you're saying. No, I think it's great. I have a feeling that, there's some type of, there's a good chance there might be a reunion tour in the future.
Really?
With makeup, yeah.
That's great.
So I may be putting the makeup back on sometime.
How is it working with Peter Criss?
It was fun, Me and Peter have always remained in touch with each other from the time he left the band, and it was nice to have him in the studio again, working with him.
How did you hook up with everybody else in the band?
Well, I met John Regan around 1980, my bass player, co-producer on this most recent album, through a mutual friend, Joe Renda. I met Richie through an old friend of mine, Eddie Sola, who assisted the engineering on this most recent album. And Sandy Slavin was recommended very highly by Ed Trunk from Megaforce Records.
What made you choose to cover the ELO hit, Do You?
That was John Regan's idea. I was kind of against it because I really didn't think I could do the song justice, and I didn't think it was heavy enough, but
You happy with it?
I'm happy with the way it turned out, yeah. Now, if you could tell me what the lyrics mean, then we'll both know. I have no idea what the song's about.
What's your favorite song on the new album and why?
I love all the songs, but the song that I kind of has a special affinity to is the opening number, Shot Full of Rock, that me and Richie collaborated with, because it was the first song that we wrote since we reunited, and I think it's something. It's probably one of the more. It's not a run-of-the-mill Ace Frehley song. There's some character to it, and I think it's a unique song. And we're opening the show with it. So.
Who was the first band you've seen live?
My first concert was The Who, The Cream, and the headliner was Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels.
Wow. Do you get to check out a lot of the newer bands that are coming out?
From time to time, I get a chance to. I've seen Skid Row. Once in a while, when I'm in the city, I head down to the Cat Club and check out new acts.
Members of Skid Row did some work on the new album. How did that come about?
Well, we met when we were co-hosting Headbangers Ball about 9 months ago on MTV, and I was invited to jam with them at Brendan Byrne Arena when they were opening up for Bon Jovi. So I ended their set with Cold Gin, and when Sebastian found out I was going into the studio shortly after that to start my new album, he offered his services as a background vocalist, so I took him up on it.
I'm sure everybody saw you on the Morton Downey show, that rock thing. How was that for you?
That was a lot of fun. Mort, everybody, when I told people that I was going to go on Morton Downey, everybody said, don't go, he's going to tear you apart. But we ended up hitting it off really good. He's actually he's into rock and roll.
What do you hate and like the most about being like a quote rock star?
The worst thing about it is the misconceptions that it's all roses. It's a bed of roses and everything's always great. It's a lot. You work a lot harder than most people think. The schedule that I have to keep. I get into a town. I'm doing I'm doing interviews constantly. I'm on the phone trying to coordinate things. I'm constantly. I can't go anywhere because I'm always being harassed with autograph seekers. Then I got a concert to do. Then I'm going to radio stations. I'm doing videos and whatnot. But I wouldn't change it for anything. I love it.
What do you like the most about it?
The magic that I feel when I'm on stage. It's better than any drug or sex. It's better than an orgasm, and it's better than any drug I've ever tried. The ultimate.
What was the most unusual thing that's ever happened at one of your shows?
Probably the night I was playing with Kiss, and I got shocked with 220 volts. I wrote a song about it called Shock Me.
Is there any advice you could give to any young bands just starting out, something you may have learned on the road you'd like to pass on?
Well, don't burn yourself out, by partying too much. Do everything in moderation. Practice. And if you're really serious about being a rock star, you have to put it before everything else, before your family, before your friends. It really has to be the number one priority in your life. If you're not going to do that, you're wasting your time because you're not going to make it. And then if you have talent and you have a good image, there's a 5% chance that you might make it. So, it's a roll of the dice is basically what it is.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to say to your Connecticut and Long Island fans?
Well, I'd just like to thank everybody for supporting me over the years and buying the album and calling up radio stations, requesting DJs to play the songs on the record. And all I can say is my fans are the best, and I love them.
Okay. One more thing. Where do you see Ace Frehley in, say, 5 years?
Probably within the next 5 years, I'll have a book out on computer graphics. I'll probably have produced a couple of bands, new young bands that I took a fancy to, and I'll have done a movie, acted in a movie.
Are you interested in acting?
Yeah, comedy.
Comedy?
Yeah, only comedy. I wouldn't do a drama.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Pleasure, Michelle.
Could you do some ideas?
I'll do it again. Hi, this is Ace Frehley, and you're listening to Technical Difficulties with Michelle on 88.7 FM WNHU West Haven. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away.